Welcome back. Aurelius and Malik, the Treaty Archive. We close the Treaty of Utrecht file today. 5 parts. The end of the story. History casts a long shadow over the Treaty of Utrecht. What seemed a diplomatic triumph in 1713 proved only the beginning of a new kind of rivalry. Treaties could redraw borders, but not erase ambition. The War of the Spanish Succession had exhausted Europe, but it was merely the prologue to a more complex narrative.
That's a crucial point, Aurelius. The diplomats at Utrecht thought they were crafting a lasting peace, yet they overlooked the ambitions that simmered beneath the surface. Balancing powers may have been their goal, but what they really did was set the stage for future conflicts. It wasn't just about the treaties. It was about the underlying tensions that never truly dissipated.
The Treaty of Utrecht marks a significant shift in the landscape of Europe. For the first time, we see the great powers striving for peace through balance instead of outright dominance. Philip V's Bourbon dynasty was allowed to stay in Spain, but only under strict terms. This was a strategic move aimed at thwarting the rise of a mega-monarchy. Was it a gamble? Sure, but it was a calculated one, reflecting the intricate dance of power that defines our history.
Aurelius, that's one way to look at it. But let's not ignore the reality that this compromise was born out of desperation. The war had devastated entire nations. The peace they created didn't just reflect balance. It was a fragile truce, a shaky agreement held together by threads of mutual distrust. They underestimated the resilience of ambition.
As the ink dried, we saw Britain emerging as the greatest beneficiary of the deal. Gibraltar and Minorca became vital outposts, essential for controlling the Mediterranean. Meanwhile, North American territories expanded British influence across the Atlantic like never before. This wasn't just about land. It was strategic positioning for future conflicts. The empire was born, but at what cost? We must remember, expansion often comes with a heavy price, one that echoes through history.
Exactly, Aurelius. The Asiento Contract granted Britain the right to supply enslaved Africans to Spanish America. That's where the real cost lies. This arrangement entangled Britain deeper into the Atlantic slave trade, a moral burden that would echo through generations. This was not just an economic boon. It was a harbinger of suffering and exploitation.
France, though forced to surrender significant territory, managed to retain much of its power on the continent. Louis XIV's ambitious plans were certainly checked, but they weren't extinguished. The country's economy faced strain, yet the spirit of France remained resilient and unyielding. Empires endure through challenges. They adapt, bide their time, and wait patiently for the right moment to reclaim their strength. History shows us that they often rise again, even stronger than before.
But that's just it, Aurelius. The treaty left many wounds unhealed. Just look at Bavaria. It was completely sidelined, its people feeling ignored and disrespected. And the heavy economic burdens placed on France and Spain? They're breeding resentments that won't just fade away. This isn't the resilience of an empire. It's a ticking time bomb, a fragile situation waiting for the right spark to ignite chaos. We need to be aware of the human cost behind these decisions.
The legacy of the treaty is complex. Gibraltar remains a source of tension, a reminder of imperial rivalries that endure. The colonial lands traded at Utrecht would ignite future conflicts, notably the 7 Years' War. This conflict would once again redraw the map of global power. The balance of power system, pioneered at Utrecht, became the gold standard of diplomacy.
And let's not forget, Aurelius, that while treaties like Utrecht aimed for peace, they also laid the groundwork for future conflicts. The very systems they built created dependencies and unresolved tensions. The moral stains of empire, like the Asiento, would haunt nations long after the treaties were signed. The peace they sought was merely a pause in ongoing struggles.
As the 18th century unfolds, the legacy of Utrecht will shape every crisis, every alliance, and every revolution. It's the echoes of these decisions that resonate through time. The architects of peace could not foresee the future conflicts their compromises would breed. The ink was barely dry before new rivalries emerged and old ambitions stirred.
Absolutely, Aurelius. The Treaty of Utrecht serves as both a model and a warning for us today. It shows how negotiation can stave off disaster. But it also reveals how compromise can unintentionally breed new dangers. The diplomats thought they were writing the rules for a new world, yet they couldn't foresee the ambitions that would rise again. Remember, peace is a process, not a promise. It's a delicate dance that requires constant attention and commitment from all sides.
History teaches us that the fate of nations hangs in the balance. The treaty serves as a stark reminder of how fragile peace can be. Each decision made in Utrecht was weighed down with consequences that echo through time. We must remember, the shadows of their choices loom large in our understanding of international relations. It's a testament to the fact that every action taken by those in power ripples out, shaping the world long after they've gone.
And that closes the Treaty of Utrecht file. 5 parts. One complete story. The full series lives on the Treaty Archive, part of the Archive Network. There's no shortage of files. Browse what pulls at you next.